The new Jaguar F-Pace SUV starts at $42,000. The new Maserati Levante starts at $73,000. A new Range Rover starts at $88,000. The new Bentley Bentayga, $250,000. So what exactly makes this thing worth so much more than all of those other SUVs? Oh, you'll see. This particular Bentayga comes to me from Maury's Luxury Auto, which is the Bentley dealership here in Minneapolis. This is an excellent dealership. I say this because they've loaned me this Bentley Bentayga. When I show up at most high-end car dealerships, they think I'm there to wash the Bentley Bentayga. So now that I've got this thing, I'm going to explain why it's worth $250,000. And I'm not going to start with the Bentayga itself, but rather with Online Configurator. Now, you know how most online car configurators say interior, exterior options. Well, this one has that. But it also has a section called Hides and another section called Veneer. Now, if you click on Hides, you're given two options: Main Hide and Secondary Hide. Folks, when your car configurator has an option for secondary hide, you know you're writing a check that could also buy you a minor league baseball stadium. Let's talk colors. This particular Bentayga is finished in onyx, which is one of 9 different blacks. There are also 21 blues, 17 golds and browns, 9 greens, 15 reds and purples, 16 silvers, and 10 whites. There is a color called Light Gazelle. Then there's the engine. The Bentayga has a 12-cylinder, but of course a mere 12-cylinder would be plebeian. So there are also 2 turbochargers. The result is 600 horsepower, 664 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and a top speed of 187 miles per hour. That's better performance than my Aston Martin, in a vehicle that weighs 5,400 pounds. To put that weight number into perspective, take my Aston Martin, add a giraffe. That's the Bentayga. But none of that adequately explains why the Bentayga costs $250,000. For that, you have to look at the details. For example, put the Bentayga into sport mode and the center screen makes it look like it's on a racetrack. Put it into dirt and gravel, and it's on dirt. Mud and trail, and it's on mud. Sand, and it's on sand. In back, there are rear climate controls. Of course. Not so of course. They're controlled with a touch screen. And it isn't just a touch screen for the climate control. It has all sorts of cool functions and some surprisingly cool graphics. The Bentayga also has soft close doors. Went to close it and you didn't quite get it all the way? No problem. Up front, the Bentayga has massaging seats. Of course it has massaging seats, but the Bentayga takes massaging seats to a whole new level. There are 5 different types of massage. Want wave? Yeah, sure. Want it on the shoulders? Yeah, that'd be great. And of course you can decide exactly how much or how little massage you want while you're driving. You want heated or ventilated seats? You don't just push a button. Instead, you decide exactly where you want the heating and ventilating to occur. And if you want your butt to be warm and your back to be cool, well, that's just fine. Of course, you can also press auto and let the car decide what temperature it thinks your butt and back should be. Perhaps my favorite feature in the entire Bentayga. You want to take your Bentayga tailgating? No problem. There is a rear event seat that you can sit on. It is finished in quilted leather. Here's something else I found while I was rifling around in back of the Bentayga. You know how in most cars you have a cargo organizer and they just give you the plastic bits in some bag and hope you don't lose them? Well, in the Bentayga, you won't lose them because they have their own zippered pouch. Another cool feature, the Bentayga of course has suspension that raises or lowers at your desire. Everybody has that. The Bentayga takes it a step further. When you're loading cargo in the back, push a button and the car will actually lower to help you get the cargo in. In front, there are little tiny buttons with little tiny people on them. Those control the automatic child locks. Opt for the smoker specification and you get these incredibly cool Bentley ashtrays, 2 in the back and 1 up front. That'll be $600. And then there's the Bentayga's amazing list of options. There are removable rear tablets that cost $7,200. There is a 3-piece picnic set that includes fine flatware and champagne flutes for $32,000. And then there is the crown jewel of the Bentayga's option list, a special Breitling clock available in only 4 Bentaygas a year that costs $160,000. Skip the clock and you could buy a new Maserati. Any new Maserati. To me, this particular Bentayga is equipped with fairly normal options, and yet they still add $25,530 to the base price. You see these chrome lower grills in the bumper? $1,200. Most of those colors I mentioned earlier are $6,000, except of course for the ones that are $12,000. Of course, the Bentayga is designed for the kind of people who won't really care about this sort of thing. And the final reason the Bentayga is worth $250,000? The drive. So right now I'm just kind of cruising around some neighborhoods, and it is nice and quiet and soft. All right, I'm gonna floor it right here and kind of see what happens. There's nobody around. Oh my God! Oh my God! Wow. I can't believe that. It's hard to describe. If you've never floored it in a Bentley before, have you? Then it's hard to describe exactly how power comes on in a Bentley. It's not like in a normal car where it's just fast. In a Bentley, it is like an airplane taking off. It is like just thrust. You just feel. The funny thing about what I've just said, it sounds like I'm describing this incredible machine that can just rip your eyes in the back of your head. The funny thing about that is now I'm in a neighborhood and I'm just cruising around and I'm feeling like I'm the most comfortable person in the entire neighborhood. You know you have 600 horsepower on tap. You know you can do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. But you choose not to at this moment. The sound insulation in this car is absolutely incredible. The turn signal is by far the loudest thing you can hear. You can't hear the road. If there are any peasants screaming at me, I certainly don't know about it. Steering in this thing is tremendously light. If you came here expecting me to say, oh, it drives like a sports car, it does not drive like a sports car. It drives like a luxury sedan. Now I'll put it in sport and I'll take another turn here pretty quick and we'll see if that changes things. Ooh, it does. Oh, wow. Well, maybe I'm wrong about this whole body roll thing. Boy, it's athletic now. That's crazy. It's like an entirely different automobile. As I sit here at this stoplight admiring myself and also the car, the interior of this vehicle is unbelievably beautiful. One of the things that I think though about this car, and maybe the only drawback to me about this car, I never have found its styling to be, a lot of people think it's weird looking. I don't. I actually like how it looks. I just don't find it to be incredibly modern. It doesn't feel like it moves the game. There's not crazy angles. There's not this totally new take. It doesn't look as special as I really think now having driven it than it is. And so my verdict on this car, it really is amazing because I feel like I've done everything in just 40 minutes behind the wheel of this car. I've accelerated at an unbelievable pace. I've driven fast on highway curvy on-ramps and it's hugged the road. And I've driven around these neighborhoods and it's just been incredibly serene. But when you have a $250,000 car, of course you can do all of these things. So the kind of cars you and I buy, we have to compromise. In this thing for 250 grand, you don't have to make any compromises. And so there are none. And of course, if you want to find out more about the Bentayga, go to autotrader.com/oversteer, where I have a great column up about what it was like to drive it and all of the crazy features that it possesses, and there are many of them. The guy in front of me's got a Taurus. Or in Bentley parlance, the guy in front of me has a car. I don't know what it is.